Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuro Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Jaya Prabhupada Jaya 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 Srila Prabhupada Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bando Moi Safadana Mati Bando Moi Safadana Mati Jahara Prasade Bhai Ibhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prati Ho Jaha Pati Krishna Prati Ho Jaha Pati Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Sititi Koriya Akya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Tititi Koriya Akya Ardana Kori Homani Asha Ardana Kori Homani Asha Sri Guru Charani Rati Aisi Uttama Gati Jiprasare Pure Sarva Asha Jiprasare sare pure sarva asha. Kakurane dilo jai jami jami Prabhu si. Kakurane dilo jai jami jami Prabhu si. Divya gan hire prakasito. Divya gan hire prakasito. Prema bhakti jaha hote avidya vinasa jati. Prema bhakti jaha hote avidya vinasa jati. Vere jai jahara karito. Vere jai jahara karito. Sri Guru Kanura Sindhu Aramadana Bandhu. Sri Guru Kanura Sindhu Aramadana Bandhu. Lokera lokera jivana. Lokera lokera jivana. Ah Prabhu koyo doyo dio more parachayo. Ah Prabhu koyo doyo dio more parachayo. It is a just tribhavana. Prabhupada Laila Charana. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavare Paskatyare Shatarine. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijayakacharya Shuddhara Sadashishimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Iskcon Viviti Founder His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijayakacharya Shuddhara Sadashishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Anantagori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kunigiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Pushtam Shetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navdeep Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Gangamaya Jamunmaya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimad Tulsidev Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Gadar Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution Ki Jai. Brihat Mridanga Ki Jai. Shri Paramakartai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai. Sam Veda Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatarini. The Lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only ways by which you can attain pure devotional service. I belong to his lotus feet with awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates, by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scripture sings of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over 3 worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. You are the Savior of the most fallen. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So you can all please come for Tulsi Arti. Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Kesavastacha Vishnu Bhakti Devi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Kesavastacha Vishnu Bhakti Devi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Vrindaye Tulsi Devyay Priyay Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Padidevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki. Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Radha Krishna Siva Pavo Abhilasi Jeto Mara Sharanaloy Tara Vancha Purna Kripa Kore Koro Tare Vrindavanavasi Morae Abhila Vilas Kanje Ayane Ribo Sara Jugala Ruparasi Enevedana Daro Sakiranu Gata Koro Wait. You done everybody? You done it? Sevari Karadiye Koro Nijarasi Dina Krishna Rati Kore Dina Muro Dina Krishna Rati Kore Dina Muro Shri Radha Govinda Premisada Jinavasi Shri Radha Govinda Premi Sada Jinavasi Yanikani cha papani brahmacharikani cha Tani tani pranashante parikshana pare pare Yanikani cha papani brahmacharikani cha Tani tani pranashante parikshana pare pare Yanikani cha papani brahmacharikani cha Tani tani pranashante parikshana pare pare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Tulsi Maharani. Jaya Vrindadevi, Jaya Vrindadevi, Jaya Vrindadevi, Jaya Vrindadevi, Vrindadevi, Jaya Vrindadevi, Jaya Vrindadevi. Srimati Vrindadev Tulsi Maharani ki, Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Kesava Sacha, Vishnu Bhakti Buddhadevi Sajavatai Namo Namah. Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Kesava Sacha, Vishnu Bhakti Buddhadevi Sajavatai Namo Namah. Vrindai Tulsi Devyai Priyai Kesava Sacha, Vishnu Bhakti Buddhadevi Sajavatai Namo Namah. Srimati Vrindadev Tulsi Dev Maharani ki jai. O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I warm before you again and again. My desire is up in the service of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. By extending your mercy upon him, you make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you will also grant me residence in the pleasure groves of Shri Vrindavan Dham. Thus that in my vision, I'll always behold beautiful pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the cohort damsels of Braj. Please give them privilege of devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna praise may always swim in the love of Shri Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Dev Maharani ki jai.
this not moving? Sachi? Why is this not moving? Mm-mm. Hare Krishna. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavade Paschatyadeshataharine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacharishatarine
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nita Gaurachandra, Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya Nita Gaurachandra.
Jaya Parama Karuna, Jaya
Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Jaya Paramankaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Paramankaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
With one Vaishnava bhajan. It's called Viva Varishesha. So, as we're all gearing up to observe Lord Balaram's appearance, it's called Balaram Purnima or Balaram Jayanti, just in about less than 2 weeks. And then later on, a week after, will be, so the 11th will be the 11th of this month, which in next month, August, tomorrow is the 1st of August, will be Lord Balaram's appearance. And followed by that, 1 week after will be Sri Krishna Janamashmi. So we're singing one bhajan, it's called Viva Varishesha, which is glorifying the pastimes of Lord Balaram, Lord Krishna in the land of Vrindavan. So to read the translation. So in the meantime, Chris can, Satya Prabhu, we can get the lyrics on screen so that everyone can follow. The night has come to an end, and the light of dawn is entering. O Jiva soul, arise and give up your sleep. Chant the holy names of Lord Hari, who is the giver of liberation, the enemy of the Mura demon, the supreme enjoyer, the all-attractive one, and the horse-headed incarnation, Hayagriva. Lord Hari, Krishna, incarnated as the half-man, half-lion, Nisimha. He appeared as a dwarf Brahmana named Upindra, and is the killer of the Madhu demon. He is the beloved son of the king of Braj, Nanda Maharaj, and is blackish in complexion. He is the slayer of the Putana witch, and the destroyer of the demon Kaitaba. All glory is to Lord Hari, who appeared as Lord Rama, the son of King Dasarath. He is the darling of Mother Yashoda, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land and spiritual senses, and the protector of the cows. He is the Lord of the Vrindavan forest, the gopis' beloved, the lover of Radhika, and the most beautiful personality in all the worlds. As Ramachandra, he brought about the end of the demoniac king Ravana, and as Krishna, he stole the older gopis' butter. He stole the younger gopis' clothes while they were bathing in the Yamuna. He is a cohort boy of Braj and a protector of the cohort boys. He steals the hearts of all and always holds a flute. Lord Krishna is worshipped by the best of the yogis and is the son of Nanda. He removes all the fears of the inhabitants of Braj. He is the color of a fresh rain cloud, and his form is enchanting. When he wanders about, playing his flute, he looks very charming. He is the son of Yashoda and the killer of King Kamsa, and he sports in a rasa dance among the groves of Braj. Krishna engages in this rasa dance under the Kadamba trees, and he resides in the forests of Vrindavan. He increases the ecstasy of his devotees. He is the reservoir of all love and is the transcendental Cupid who uses his florid arrows to increase the love and desires of the gopis. He is the pleasure of the gopis' hearts and the abode of all wonderful qualities. Lord Krishna is the life of the river Yamuna. He is always absorbed in amorous pastimes, and he is the moon of the gopis' minds, which are like the chakura boards that subsist only upon moonlight. O mind, obey these words of mine and sing the glories of Sri Krishna in the form of these holy names. which are full of nectarian mellows. Vivavadi Shesha Aloka Pravisha Nidrachari Oto Jiva Shesha Aloka Pravisha Nidrachari Oto Jiva
Vipavari Shesha Aloka Pravisha Nidrachari Oto Jiva
Bolo Hare Hare Mukunda Murare Rama Krishna Hayagriva
Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva
Bolo Hare Hare Mukunda Murare Rama Krishna Hayagriva
Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva
Narsingha Vamana Shrimadhu Sudana Brajendra Nandana Shama
Narsingha Vamana Shri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Shama
Narsingha Vamana Shri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Shama
Narsingha Vamana Shri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Shama
Putana Gatana Kaitabashatana Jaya Dasharati Rama
Utana Gatana Kaita Basatana Jaya Dasarati Rama
Putana Gatana Kaitabashatana Jaya Dasharati Rama
Utana Gatana Kaita Basatana Jaya Dasarati Rama
Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara
Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Pundara
Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara
Yashoda Dulala Govinda Gopala Vrindavana Purandara
Gopi Priyajana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bara
Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Govinda Sundara Bara
Gopi Priyajana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bara
Gopi Priya Jana Radhika Ramana Bhuvana Sundara Bara
Ravanantakara Makanataskara Gopijana Vasshahari
Ravana Antakara Madanataskara Gopajana Vasshahari
Ravanantakara Makanataskara Gopijana Vasshahari
Ravana Antakara Makanataskara Gopijana Vasshahari
Braje Darakala Gopa Vrindapala Chita Hari Bamshedari
Brajara Kala Gopa Vrindapala Sita Hari Bamsedari
Braje Darakala Gopa Vrindapala Chita Hari Bamshedari
Brajara Kala Gopala Vrindapala
Chita Hari Bamshedari Yogindra Bandana Shri Nandanandana Braja Jana Bayahari
Yogindra Bandana Sri Nandana Rajendra Bayahari
Yogindra Bandana Shri Nandanandana Braja Jana Bayahari
Yogindra Bandana Sri Nandana Raja Jana Bayahari
Navena Nirara Rupa Manohara Mohana Bamshi Vihari
Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Bamsi Vihari
Navena Nirara Rupa Manohara Mohana Bamshi Vihari
Navina Nirada Rupa Manohara Mohana Bamsi Vihari
Yashodanandana Kamsa Nishudana Nikunjara Savilasi
Yasuranandana Kamsini Sudana Nikunjara Savilasi
Yashodanandana Kamsa Nishudana Nikunjara Savilasi
Yasuranandana Kamsani Sudana Nikunjara Savilasi
Karma Kanana Rasa Parayana Vrindavipina Nevasi
Kadamba Kanana Rasa Paranana Vina Vipina Nevasi
Karma Kanana Rasa Parayana Vrindavipina Nevasi
Karamba Kanana Rasa Parayana Vina Vipina Nevasi
Ananda Vardana Premani Kitana Pulashara Jojakama
Ananda Vardana Premani Kitana Pulasara Jokakama
Ananda Vardana Premani Kitana Pulashara Jojakama
Ananda Vardana Premani Kitana
Gopan Gana Gana Chita Vinodana samasta gunagana dama.
Gopanaganana Sesani Budana Samasta Gunagana Dama.
Gopan gana gana chita vinodana samasta gunagana rama.
Gopanaganana Sita Vinodana Samasta Gunagana Dama.
Yamuna jivana keli parayana manasa chandra chakora.
Yamuna Jivana Kilipayana Manasa Chandrasakura.
Yamuna jivana keli parayana manasa chandra chakora.
Yamuna Jivana Kilipayana Manasa Chandrasakura.
Nama shudharasa gao Krishna jasa rako vachana manamora.
Nama Sudarasa Gao Krishna Gata Rakubachana Manamora.
Nama shudharasa gao Krishna jasa rako vachana manamora.
Nama Sudarasa Gao Krishna Gata Rakubachana Manamora.
Gaurari sheshaloka pravisha nidrachari yota jiva.
Pavari Shishaloka Pravisha Nisachari Yota Jiva.
Bola Hare Hare Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva.
Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Yagriva.
Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Vrindavanaram Jaya Vrindavanaram Jaya Vrindavanaram Jaya Vrindavanaram.
Jaya Vrindavanadam Jaya Vrindavanadam Jaya Vrindavanadam Jaya Vrindavanadam.
Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam.
Jaya Radhe Shyam Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam.
Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Everyone together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So we want to welcome all the devotees here this morning. So as part of today's Sunday feast, we also, one of our dear friend and well-wisher, Prakash Prabhu, Prakash ji we say, who comes here very often. Yesterday was his mother's memorial, like in passing, his mother passed away many years ago, and had a little memorial yesterday to commemorate that day. So today we are also here. He is back home in India with his family, but we are here making offerings, for his mother. So as part of the Sunday feast, we'll be offering one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But before we do so, we'll do together Mangala Charana prayers. So we can all together we can all offer these prayers. His mother's name is Sita Devi. So in this way we can offer these prayers, and then we'll read one chapter from the Bhagavad Gita together. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Makam Kalati Vachalam Pangam Langayati Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. So thank you. So we'll be doing the 9th chapter of the Gita, and hopefully you'll be able to see the verses, the Sanskrit and the translation, so that we can all of us will be reading together. What do you think about that? Is that a good idea? All of us to read at least the English together. So in the meantime, Chris Prabhu is getting the verses. We can all repeat. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is the 9th chapter entitled? What is it called?
The most confidential knowledge.
That's right, the most confidential knowledge. So 9th chapter comes in the at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Is that true? It comes at the end of the Gita. Where it comes? In the middle.
In the center.
So are we getting through the verses? So let's chant in the meantime. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Louder.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So we'll begin with the first verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guyatamam pravakshamyanasuyave Jnanam Vijnanam Sahitam Yach Gyagva Mukshashe Shubhat. Together. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
My dear Arjuna, because you are never
envious of me,
I
shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge
and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved in.
Raja Vidya Rajaguyam Pavitram Iram Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartumavyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. Ashadadana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina matstani sarva bhutani na chaham teshvavastitaha. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Na cha matstani bhutani pashyami yogamaishwaram bhuta brinna cha bhutasto mama atma bhuta bhavanaha. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. Yata akashastito nityam vayo sarvatra go mahan tata sarvani bhutani matstani tubhadharaya.
Understand that as below everywhere, rest always in the sky. All created beings rest in me.
Sarva bhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamaikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpado vishajamyaham. Loudly.
O son of Kunti,
Put more energy. Prakritim swamavashtabhya vishrajami puna puna bhutagramam imam kritsnam avasham prakritir vashat.
The whole cosmos under my will. Manifesting again and again. Under my will.
Na chamam tani karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya urasina varasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Maya yakshena prakriti suyate sachara charam hetunanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Avajananti ma mudha manusim tanum ashritam param bhavamajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Mogha shamoga karmano mogha jnana vichetasaha rakshasim asurim chaiva prakritim mohinim shritaha. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by the demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Mahatmanastu mam parta daivim prakritimashritah bhajanti ananya manaso gyagva bhutarim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridha vrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Jnana yagyena chapiyanye yajanto mam upasate ekadvena pratakvena bahura vishvato mukam. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord and in the universal form. Aham kratur aham yagyaha swaraham aham aushadam mantroaham aham evajam aham agnir aham hutam.
But it is I who am the ritual.
Pitahamasya jagato mata data pitama Vedyam pavitramomkara riksamaya jurevacha. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable O. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Surit Prabhava Pralayasthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed. Tapami aham aham varsham nigranami utsrajami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sarasakchaham Arjuna. O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Trividya mam somapa puta papa yagyarishva swargatim prartaranyanti te punyam asadya surindralokam ashnanti divyan dividheva bhogan. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam, shine punye martyalokam vishanti, evam traidharmam anuprapana, gata gatam kama kama labante. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiviyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. Ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shradhayan vitaha te api mameva kaunteya yajanti aviripurvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Aham hi sarva yagyanam bhoktacha prabhurevacha natu mam abhijanati tadvenatashchayavantite. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitrin vrataha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti maryajinapi mam. Those who worship the devatas will take birth among the devatas. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachate taraham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Yat karoshi yat ashnasi yat jahosi dharasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, Shubha Shubha Palirevam Moksha Karma Bhandanai Sanyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Ma Upaisyasi.
In this way,
with your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Samuaham sarva bhuteshu name dveshu astina priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maititeshu cha piyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Api chetse duracharo bhajate mamananya bhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Shipram bhavati dharma atma shashvak chantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyate. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, Declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Mam hi parta vyapashritya ye api suya papayonaya striyo vaishastata shudras te api yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, vaishyas, and workers, can attain the supreme destination. Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajashayastata anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajaswamam. How much more this is so of the righteous brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. And finally, together, man mana bhava bhad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaisyasi yuktvaivam atmana mat parayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee and offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for participating in helping us to recite. So now we'll do the next 9 chapters. What do you think about that? Is that okay? We're going to do it from chapter 10 to 18. We'll finish just around like 4 o'clock. So that was 9 chapter. So in our Vaishnava calendar, there are various auspicious days. Who can list auspicious days that is like present in our Vaishnava calendar? What days do you remember? Janamashmi, what else? Gaur Purnima, Ram Navami. What else? Radha Asmi. So apart from those are like the main ones. But ever so often there is disappearance. We call it Tirobhava Titi. Tirobhava Titi is the disappearance anniversary observance of of great personalities, great devotees. And there's also what is called Avir Bhava Titi. Avir Bhava Titi means the appearance of great personalities, right? The appearance anniversary, the appearance day. So in that mood, tomorrow, even though tomorrow is what day? What day is tomorrow? Emancipation. But that is, remember, that emancipation you're talking about is emancipation of slavery, right? But there is what is called real emancipation. Who can help us to understand what is real emancipation? Or what do you think is real emancipation? Liberation from the material world, getting free from the bondage of this material world. It means that if the soul, right, the soul becomes free from this world and goes to where? Where the soul goes? To America or the UK? Vaikunta. The soul goes back home, back to Godhead. So tomorrow, apart from Emancipation or Freedom Day, as you will call it, even though it's called Freedom Day, there's not much freedom in it, right? It's not. The irony is that there's not much freedom is there, because we are all covered. We're all bound by the 3 modes. The 3 modes of material nature are like ropes. Has any one of us here ever been tied up by ropes before? Sukhdev Prabhu, he has such an experience where he was bound up by ropes before. How difficult, how easy was it for you to free yourself? Could you free yourself easily? No. Very difficult. So in a similar way, every moment of our lives, we are all influenced, we are all governed by the modes of goodness, modes of passion, modes of ignorance. So these modes are described like ropes. So maybe many of us never had that experience of being bound up. Someone tie us up with a rope, all our hands and feet. We can't walk, we can't move. But many of us, like especially those of you who grew up in the countryside, are accustomed to iguanas, right? When the hunter guys, they will catch the iguanas, and they tie the iguanas, his hands behind his back, tie up his legs, everything. He can't help himself basically. So that is our situation in this world. So we were saying that tomorrow, apart from emancipation, tomorrow is the disappearance anniversary of two great personalities in our Vaishnava line, Vaishnava culture. So we want to understand a little about their lives and what was significant about their lives, because you see, in Vedic society, it is very important to preserve our heritage, to preserve our culture, to understand and to remember our previous acharyas, because it is only by their blessings, by their kindness, we are all here, that we get this opportunity. So tomorrow is the disappearance. We said the disappearance is the Tirobhava Tithi of Srila Raghunandan Thakur. So Raghunandan Thakur, we'll hear about him. He is a very close associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many of us here knows who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Please raise your hands. Still, we have many persons here who are not aware of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, also apart from him, there's the disappearance of Vamsi Das Babaji. So we'll hear a little about the life of these personalities. So, beginning from Raghunandan Thakur, he grew up in a place in India. This is in Kolkata side. It's like Bengal. It's called Shrikand. Shrikand is the place where he grew up, and he appeared, during the time that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the planet. This was over 500 years ago, right? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in 1486. That's the year, and he would have appeared in 1432, like just before, some years before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. So his father was by the name of Mukunda Das. Now Mukunda Das already was a great Vaishnava. He was a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in every home, like the custom is there, the culture is there that, the altar is there, and the brahmanas, these devotees, they have deities. So this Mukunda Das, who is the father of Raghunandan Thakur, he had deities of Krishna in the form of Gopal. The deity name was Gaura Gopal, basically. So Gaura is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Gopal is Krishna, same personality. So what had happened is that when Raghunandan, when he was a little boy, right, he would see his father, go every morning and perform puja to these deities and make offerings. You cook the bhoga and you make the offerings to the Lord. So at an early age, just like in Srila Prabhupada's lifetime, in Prabhupada, when he grew up also in Calcutta, his father used to worship the deity of Radha Govinda. I think those deities are still present even up to today. So Prabhupada would be there with his father and have the whole experience of the morning program of, how his father will go about and bathing and dress the deities, perform bathing ceremonies, abhishek, make nice offerings of fruits, sweets, cooked offering, and, perform kirtan, bhajans, and all these activities. So Prabhupada would observe very keenly what was going on. A little 5-year-old boy. And, we're saying this also not just for pastime's sake, but to bring over the message or bring over the point also that in our own homes, if we have little boys, little children, or children, we should have, give them that experience so that they grow with it. They don't have to feel that when they grow, when they become a teenager, then they will have to become Krishna conscious. Then they will have to learn to chant. Sometimes we think like that, right? That, this child is so small now. He's just 5-year-old. Oh, he can't walk properly. He can't do anything. He can't chant. No. Actually, it is said scientifically, and we have professor here, maybe he can testify, he can help us to understand that, when a human being is very young, it is said that the human brain is like sponge. What is one quality of sponge you can think of? Show by raising hands. What is one? What? Tell us, Randy. What it does? It easily absorbs things, right? It absorbs sponge. How difficult is sponge to absorb water? Not difficult. So sponge absorbs very fast. So the child brain now developing, now growing, everything is the ideal time, for imparting or for showing the child this, or giving the child that kind of experience, what it means to worship the Lord in all these nice ways. So that was, great devotees, they grow from even before they are born, they have gained the knowledge. Look at a personality like Prahalad Maharaj. When Prahalad Maharaj was born to demonic families, but when did Prahalad Maharaj become a devotee? When he became 20 years old? When? Prahalad became a devotee in the womb. Can you imagine that? He became a devotee in the womb, not even outside, inside, by the mercy of Narad Muni. So, coming back to the pastime of Raghunandan, his father will go out some mornings. So what his father will do, because his father saw that, this boy, he can, every day he will come and observe what I'm doing. So one day, his father, told him that, what, I'm preparing these ladus. How many persons here like ladus? You don't have to be shy. It's okay for us to like ladus, right? But you have to know how much to take. We can like it, but that does not mean we have to take unlimited amounts, right? So his father left some ladus for him to offer to the deity, the Gopinath deity. So what he did, he took the offering and he went to the altar and he said, this is how he's making offering. Very simple. Remember, a child. You would not expect a child to know all mantras, all very elaborate mantras. He told Gopinath that, eat. He says like that, eat. Telling Gopinath, that is how he's making his offering. So, Krishna, in this Gopinath deity, Krishna, used his hands and took all the ladus and ate. And that was normal for the child. The child was not surprised by that. Because for us, let's say if one day at home, we are making our offerings, and after we finish the mantras and everything, we open our eyes, we saw that Krishna he's eating out the offerings. We'd be shocked. Wouldn't you be shocked? I would be shocked at least. I'll be surprised. The first time that is happening. But for this child, this was normal for him. It appears like that. He didn't feel anything because he's telling Krishna, eat. And Krishna was there eating all the ladus right at home. No one was home. So when the father came back later in the day, the father asked, where's the prasad? Now you offer bhoga to the Lord. And normally you will take off the offering, which is prasad, the Lord accept it, and you'll distribute that to everyone. That's the standard system. But when Mukunda, his father, asked him, where is the prasad that he offered? He said that Krishna ate everything. This boy said that Krishna ate everything. Father was surprised because if father never made offerings where Krishna finished, everything like that. Of course, you see, Krishna, he's different from us. So someone might question, how many of us, maybe even us, we have the doubt that whenever we make the offerings, and we go and take off the offerings, everything is there. How do we understand whether Krishna accept or not? Because all the items we placed 1 samosa, 3 ladus, 5 gulab jamun, 1 puri, 2 sabjis, everything is there. So how can we understand Krishna accept it or not? Or let's say, not say like that. Let's say, how can we know that Krishna eats? Is it that Krishna need to literally eat like us, or he can also eat in different ways? What are different ways Krishna can eat? Yes, Mataji, tell us. Pardon me? By smelling, Krishna eats also. What other ways? By seeing. Krishna, the activity of one sense, let's say with our tongue, right? Like we need to taste with our tongue. But Krishna can taste with his sense of smell. Krishna can taste with his sense of touch. Krishna can taste with his sense of seeing. Krishna can taste with his sense of hearing. We can't do that. So there's a difference right there. That's a difference right here. So all the while Mukunda making his offerings, it was like that. But suddenly, when this boy made the offering, everything was finished. So what the father decided, he couldn't understand, he couldn't believe this. So he thought he'll give his son another opportunity to make offerings another day. So another day he did the same thing. So this time he's not going to go out. He's just going to hide himself somewhere close by, and he's going to come back like in the midst of when the offering is being made. So this boy went up with his plate of ladus, sweets offering, again to Gopinath, and said, my dear Gopinath, eat, eat. That's all he says. That's the mantra. Eat, eat. And, so Krishna began to eat lovingly, as if, Krishna is a child. Like a father will tell a child or a mother will tell a child, beta, eat, eat. Like that, something like that. So, like that, this child was telling Krishna, and Krishna began to eat. So in the midst of Krishna taking his sweets, the father happened to came in by the door. Mukunda came, and he saw this whole thing. So immediately, at that time when the father came, this Krishna, he didn't finish 1 ladu. This Gopinath, he still had half ladu in his hands. So he froze. He stopped right there. Right? He stopped right there, and still some ladus were remaining. And, so then now Raghunan was telling Krishna that, you have to finish it. But by that time, Krishna, he disappeared. So, and even up to this time, people go to the house, after so many years, right? That this pastime happened with this. So the point is that 2 things. One, this boy is Raghunandan, a great devotee. Because how is it that, such a small boy, how is it when he feeds Krishna, Krishna can appear and eat right in front of him. But that doesn't happen to us. So this boy is no ordinary boy. And, even up to today, this place, Shrikand, is there where this Gopinath deity is still present and being worshipped up to today after over 530 years. Still this deity is being worshipped. And still this pastime is there where the half ladu is there in the deity's hand, in the Gopinath's hand. So a very nice pastime. So Raghunandan later on, when now Lord Chaitanya appeared, after some years, every year, like Lord Chaitanya, he used to stay in Jagannath Puri, right? So the Jagannath Puri now is some distance away from, like Calcutta, Bengal area. So now the devotees from Bengal, what they would do, so like Ratha Yatra festival will be there in the like in June every year in Jagannath Puri. And Lord Chaitanya was living in Jagannath Puri. So Jagannath Puri is the origin, is Orissa, the place where Ratha Yatra originated, where Lord Jagannath appeared. So what would happen is that every year, thousands of devotees will leave Bengal and go for a whole 2 months or a month to 2 months to stay in Jagannath Puri so that they can have association with Lord Chaitanya, and also they can be part of Ratha Yatra. Right? They will take part in the Ratha Yatra festival. So Raghunandan used to be among those devotees, and he would go every year, to participate in the festival. So there are many, many instances where, he would have engaged in performing kirtan, engaged in dancing. How many of us here like to dance in kirtan? But I don't see you be dancing. So, you have to do something. So like that, so Raghunandan engaged in various services. He worshipped the deities. He performed kirtan for the Lord. He will, assist with many, many different services, in like helping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread the movement. Because that was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, right? To spread, the teachings, teachings of Krishna, to spread the holy name in every tongue and village. So that's how we are all getting the opportunity here, because, Srila Prabhupada left India, came to the West, came to Boston, then New York, and from then the whole movement expanded. Actually, this time here, just a week and a half ago, it was the inauguration anniversary of Iskcon. We call it Iskcon's Incorporation Day. So it was in July 14th, 1966 that the movement, that Iskcon, Hare Krishna movement, was registered formally or incorporated in New York City. So, every year around this time, we honor the incorporation of Iskcon, because that is, Prabhupada, who is the one who took all the austerities to come to the West and to spread the movement worldwide. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread and preached in India, right? He didn't go out of India. But Prabhupada went across the shores of India to the, he went to first the North America, then other places, many other places he went to, like Asia and Europe, Africa, all those places. So that's a little pastime of Raghunandan. How he would have been such a special devotee that when he feeds Krishna as a little boy, Krishna would accept, and Krishna would eat in front of him. So there's another devotee by the name of Vamsi Das Babaji. Yes, very exalted, very special devotee. Tomorrow is his disappearance as well. So he was a great devotee. He used to live in Navadvip. There's a place called, Swarup Gunj. So during that time, that was the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. This was in the 1900s, or like, let's say late 1800s, coming into 1900s. He was living there, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is the spiritual master of Srila Prabhupada. So that time he was also present in Mayapur, in Navadvip area, and he had started out to build temples, the Gaudiya Math, right? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was instrumental. He's the one who started the Gaudiya Math movement, right? So the Gaudiya Math Society. So during that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta knew Vamsi Das Babaji. They were very close friends, and he lived a very simple life, right? Very, very simple life with like bare necessities, or even less than bare necessities. He most of the times, he would just be by himself, and he had deities also, deities of Radha Krishna, deities of Gaura, Gadadhar, and Nitai. Right? So Gaura is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nitai, Lord Nityananda, Gadadhar. Right? The other associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is part of the Panchatattva. So this Vamsi Das, you would not find him associating too much with like in the public. Most of the time he lives very simply. He'll spend a lot of time by the bank of the Ganges. So where Navadvip is, the Ganges run through there. So there are various bathing ghats. Like ghats is like places that are at the bank of the Ganges where you'll go to take bath, holy dips. So what had happened is that every day he'll be engaged in. So what he will do, his morning will start with chanting. Then he will go out early morning to get flowers. He'll pick all fresh flowers, right? Not the artificial flowers. Fresh. He'll go out and search and pick nice fresh flowers, gather all those flowers. And when he comes back, he will sit down, and he was very meticulous. Some persons are like that. When they are doing something, right, they will put their whole heart, or even more than their heart, into that activity. Might not be some spiritual thing, might not be service, but generally some people have that nature that everything has to be, they're very meticulous, right? They take their time, they put their everything, it has to be done properly. If it doesn't do properly, and you are wrong, they will chastise you, right? So Vamsi Das, what he will do, when he get these flowers, he'll arrange the flowers very nicely, according to different size, put the different colors, with what color he'll combine what color. So he'll spend a lot of time just to prepare the garlands, and then he will do his puja, right? So remember, is not one set of deities, he had Radha Krishna, of Gaura, Nitai, Gadadhar. So all these deities, he'll make nice garlands by himself, right? By himself. So by the time he finished gathering the flowers, come back, making the garlands, already long hours, many hours that will take, already in the evening, afternoon. And then he'll go and cook. He'll go and cook the offerings now. He'll go and cook the boga. And then he'll make the offerings. Then he'll perform artik. That will take him to the evening. So his morning program, we are accustomed to the morning program, which will last from 6 to 8. Or maybe for some people from morning 4 to 6. But his program of worshiping and serving will last for the entire day. So after all of that now, then he will go and, way in the evening, that is when he will go and take some prasad to have something. So that was his lifestyle, and he was not. So you might ask, well, if he is worshiping the entire day, then where he gets things from to cook and all that. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had arranged that some of the disciples, some of the brahmacharis who were staying in the temple, that they will, like 2 of them will take some grains for him every day, right? Not every day, every other. They will take some grains so that he get to cook, and that is what he offered, because he don't work. So that was his kind of program. So one day, I'll tell you a pastime now. One day, what happened? So Bengal is a place where, fishing is a very prominent activity. Is that true? Yes. Bengalis are known for, engaging in that, in catching fish. So one lady was selling fish, was passing by. So he had a little, what we call it's called a bhajan kutir. That's what it's called. It's basically a small thatch roof kind of hut that he was living in, right? At the bank of the Ganges. So one lady was coming and was shouting out, "My dear Babaji, we have like a wide variety of fishes here. Which one would you like?" So like that. So then immediately, somehow or other, even though he is a vegetarian, he doesn't engage in eating or killing fish, all this. But somehow his mind played tricks on him that I should get some of this, right? So all of a sudden he was feeling attracted to this, to taste this, even though maybe in his entire life he had never taken that, right? I mean, there are persons like that who are born and they are vegetarians, whereas for some persons, for many of us, later on in our lives we take up to that. So the thought came, but then immediately, like, I'm sure all of us can relate to this. Sometimes we are just being normal, and some very weird thoughts will come to our mind, right? Some very weird things that you never even thought of or even wanted to do, but some thoughts, our mind will play with you like this. But immediately he come to his senses and he became very angry with his mind now. He didn't buy the fish or anything, but he became very, very angry with himself. And he was thinking, being there just by his hut, he was thinking like, how come I am right here? My lords are right here. All these deities, all these lords, Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, Lord Nityananda, they are all here. And how could this happen? Like how can he think like that? So, so immediately he chased the lady away. He actually chased her away because he was not interested anymore. But he was thinking that this cannot be true. How this can really happen? So he had this thing, right? He will speak to the deities because he's living by himself. I mean, with no other family members, but he's living with the lords. So he will actually speak to the lords, and they will respond to him, right? He will speak to Lord Chaitanya, and ask, well, why this happened. He will have the conversation. Many instances like that. That even one time, what had happened? I told you that he goes out to get flowers, right? So when he goes out, he doesn't lock his door. The little place that he stays in, he doesn't lock it. Even though he has a padlock and the keys. Right? He does not lock the door. He just leave the place open. And with the idea that, not much is there. Whatever is there is just some few paraphernalia, some few cups, water cups and plates, and whatever paraphernalia he's using to worship the Lord. So one day he went out and he came back. When he came back now, 2 pots. One was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's one, and one was Gaura's, Lord Chaitanya. The 2 pots were missing. So those 2 pots he was using to prepare offerings for those 2 lords. Now he was saying to the lords that, how come you are here, right? You are here. How come the pots gone? Who stole them? So since the pots are missing, I'm not going to feed you 2 guys today. So he's not an ordinary person. He's a great Vaishnava, he's a great devotee. But the great devotees, they can have such exchange with the Lord. For us, we may be far, far away from that for now, but it's possible because we are in a process. Srila Prabhupada would say that, this process of Krishna consciousness is powerful enough to help us to where we can see Krishna, we can meet Krishna face to face. One day we can meet Krishna face to face and you'll talk to him. You'll ask him all the questions. You can ask him also why he made you suffer. Why he made you suffer so many lives. And why you keep in this material world for so many lifetimes. Right? All the questions that you had wanted to ask. You can, if we practice sincerely, if we chant sincerely. I was just reading this morning in one purport, Prabhupada he says that in Bhagavad Gita that, this process is like this. It all depends upon us, right? He says that if you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you can chant one sincere mantra, possibility is that, immediately you can leave. You can leave this world. You can achieve Krishna. And he gave the example of Kadvanga Muni. So there is a sage by the name of Kadvanga Muni, and he was about to die, right? And he was told, right, that he has 1 second or something like that to live, a very short span of time to live. So it means that after that time he will die. But before that 1 second or before that short time finish, he was able to call out on the Lord. He was able to achieve the Lord. We here, we will struggle like anything else. We will practice whole lifetime. We will chant. How many wrongs we will chant? For Prabhu here, Sachi Putra Prabhu, he will chant only 32 wrongs per day. And Prabhu, how long it will take you to achieve the state of Kadvanga Muni? Many times, maybe many lifetimes, maybe not even in this lifetime. But I'm just sharing these stories to show that, to bring over the point that, if we are, the more sincerely we can call, it can happen now. And then sometimes if we call now, we're not so sincere, then it'll take some time, it will happen. But it will happen. We will gain. Every mantra that we chant, we are making deposits in the account. Not the Republic Bank account, but the Vaikunta account. It's different. That is the Republic one and the Citizens Bank, and so these are the material account. These ones, the way how these accounts operate is that we will spend our whole lives to keep increasing the figures. Isn't that so? Now let's say if we're at 6 figures. We want to, by next year, we want to make it 9 figures. Then we want it 12 figures, 15 figures. But you see, oftentimes, we build the figures, but what happened? We don't get to enjoy it. We have to leave it and go. But with the account that Krishna's bank, is a spiritual account. Every mantra we chant, every spiritual activity we do, we're getting more and more. We're depositing. We're making deposits. So now the question is, when can you withdraw? We're only talking about deposits. When can you withdraw? You can withdraw now, in this lifetime. You can withdraw after this lifetime. Or you can withdraw 10 lifetimes from now. You see? Wherever you go, whatever happened, you have that with you. Because Prabhupada says that in the Krishna consciousness, if you make 1%, if in this lifetime we practice, and we make 1%, we make our lives 1% Krishna conscious, then in next life, where are we starting from? Are we starting from 0 or 1? Starting from 1. So that is how this process is very scientific. Even though you did not complete, you're starting from 1%. So, but you see, any material activity, let's say if you want to become a professor, if you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, a business entrepreneur, you will have to spend so many years of your life just to get there, to become qualified, to gain the right kind of experience and everything. But then, what happens when we end our lives and we have to start back from fresh? We have to go over the entire process, right? A great personality is not born in a maternity ward. Do you think you can go in the maternity ward and find a doctor being born, or a lawyer or a professor being born? No, not possible. Have to be trained, have to become educated, have to develop the skills. So that is the process. So similarly in Krishna consciousness, this is the process. This is our Krishna consciousness. It is said that this is net practice. Net practice means like the cricketers. They will spend hours and hours. You will spend whole week or 2 months or even a year to practice for one tournament that is coming up. So this life is net practice. You're practicing so that later on we'll be able to apply ourselves. So we want to conclude. So these are two great devotees. We can remember, we can read up more about their lives, their teachings, because that is what will be meaningful in our lives. How we can relate with these personalities, these great devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because we are all trying to to follow in their footsteps. Now, where's the question of following their lives, or trying to what we say, trying to, the word is not common, but nevertheless, how can we follow in their footsteps if we do not understand the lives of these personalities? So that's why we thought of sharing like that, so that we all can feel inspired to go and do our own research, to know all the names of these personalities, and how what was their contribution to this movement, how they played an important or vital role in our lives. So thank you all very much. Are there any questions? So if maybe you're still thinking, so if you have any questions, we'll take our questions after Artik and maybe during Prashad time. So I'd like to invite everyone, please come forward for the Artik ceremony to their lordships. Everyone can please stand. Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra. Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra. Jai Shri Shri Paramakarnitai Gaur Chandra Ki. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachari Shatarine. Namaste
Devi Gauravani Pracharini Sunyavari Paskachari Shatarini.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri
Krishna Advaita Gaura Bhakta
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri
Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Raya Namah Krishnaya Davaya Namah,
Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha,
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha,
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan,
Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad Suram,
Giridhari Gopinath Marana Mohan,
Giri Hari Gopinath Marana Mohan,
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita,
Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita,
Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita,
Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita,
Shri Rup Shri Sanatana Bhatta Raguna,
Sri Rup Sri Sanatana Bhakta Raguna,
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasaraguna, Dasaraguna. Hari Raya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama,
Yaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha,
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama,
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Jaya Parama Karuna Janitai Gora Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Janitai Gora Chandra
Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Parama Karuna Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra
Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva
Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jaya
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajakacharyya Shodhara Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Iskcon VBT founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajakacharyya Shodhara Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंज राधा कुंज गिर गोवर्धन की जय। श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री पुष्टम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगामय जमुनमय की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। श्रीमद तुलसी देव महारानी की जय। श्री गोदार्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution की जय। बृहत् मृदंग की जय। श्री परमकांताय गौर चंद्र की जय। Samved Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to the assembly of devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtachari Shatarini.
Namaste Narasringaya. Namaste Narasringaya. Pralada Lada Ladayini. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Silatankanatalayadi. Ito na shringo parato na shringo. Yato yato yamitato na shringo. Pahi na shringo hirayi na shringo. Nara shringa madim sharanam prabhadi. Nara shringa madim sharanam prabhadi. Tava kara kamala vardi nakam abhuta shringam. Dalita hiranyakashipu tanno bringam. Ishavari pa narahari rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Tava kara kamala vari nakam abhuta shringa. Dalita hiranyakashipu tanno bringam. Keshavari pa narahari rupa. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Lakshmi Narsinga Jaya Lakshmi Narsinga Jaya Lakshmi Narsinga Jaya Lakshmi Narsinga Jaya Prahalad Maharaj Prahalad Maharaj Prahalad Maharaj Jaya Prahalad Maharaj Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada. Sri Narsingha Bhagavan ki jai. Prahalad Maharaj ki jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki jai.
Jai Shri Shri Paramakarntai Gaur Chandra ki Jai Shri Panchatattva Bhagwan ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So we want to thank all the devotees who have been here for today's morning program. Let's put our hands together for all of you. So also we want to thank all those who would have assisted with the various services in organizing the program. As you all know, to set up and to get everything together for the Sunday feast, it takes quite a bit of effort, a lot from everyone. So let us appreciate and thank all those devotees who would have assisted in the various areas in the kitchen, the pujari, in the temple room, for the program, everyone. Hari Bol, together. Jai. So today's feast has been sponsored, as we announced earlier. We are, remembering and also praying for the blessings of Lord Krishna, our Lord Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra, for the mother, the late Sita Devi, the mother of our dear Prakash Prabhu. So Prakash is in India, but his niece and nephews, Manisha and others are here on his behalf. So he has sponsored the feast in honor of his mother, who passed on probably about 15 years ago, since 2007. But nevertheless, he's continuing to do his part as a son to make these offerings. So we can all chant one Mahamantra for her, wherever the soul is, that she can she can receive the benefit of the Vaishnavas, the benefit of Lord, of their lordships, so that, she can continue, wherever she is at this time. So together, one Mahamantra loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So just before you go for prasad, we are gearing up here, the temple is gearing up to observe Balaram Jayanti, which is the appearance of Lord Balaram. That is on, I think it's a Thursday, 11th of August. So August begins tomorrow. And then 1 week after that we'll be having a 4 days program. So are you, let's see how much enthusiastic you are to be participating in 4 days program, 4 days celebration of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Hari Bol! Yes, so Janmashtami we'll be observing on the 19th, but from the 18th, 19th, the 20th, the day after Janmashtami, Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, his birthday. So that will be on Saturday, the 20th, and also we'll have the last day on Sunday, will be another program. So it's from Thursday the 18th to Sunday the 21st. 4 days of program in observing Sri Krishna Janmashtami and the appearance of Srila Prabhupada. So there are many areas, as you know, it's Janmashtami, these are like these are big programs for us. And considering over the last few years, we had to scale down on how we observe based on the capacity and all that. Now things have become a little more relaxed. So we encourage you and your family, in whatever areas you want to assist or be part of the festival, you can let us know early. We have already started to meet and to plan, how and what are the different areas. So feel free to reach out to us, and also we would, as time goes by, we will inform you, what we need, what we'll be having, and so forth. So thank you nevertheless. Please take prasad to your satisfaction. Hare Krishna. So we see you next week.